Archangel Michael says, "You are moving." My child, my beloved, heaven has been waiting for the exact right moment to place this message before you, because there is something urgent and sacred your heart needs to understand. Where you are now is not where you are meant to remain. Open your spirit and listen closely. This message almost did not reach you, but today heaven pushed the veil aside so you could hear it clearly. The angels want you to know that a shift has already begun, and it is larger than a change of house, street, or location. You are moving into a season you have prayed for. You are stepping into a promise that seemed delayed for so long, yet now it is finally being released. What you have been sensing in your spirit is not fantasy. It is a glimpse of the place, the atmosphere, the environment where peace will settle over your life and your soul will finally breathe again. If these messages keep your spirit encouraged, subscribe and stay close. There is a reason this word reached you now, and you do not want to drift away from what heaven is unfolding in this season. This move is not random. It is sacred alignment. Now take a deep breath, because what comes next may stir something deep within you. You have already been feeling it, haven't you? That quiet uneasiness where you are. That inner nudge to clear things out, to let go, to clean, to detach, to stop clinging to what no longer feels right. That was not coincidence. Your soul has been responding to the call before your mind fully understood it. The season you have been living in is expiring, and heaven is placing fresh keys into your hands. What you may not have realized is this: the move has already been arranged in the spirit. The place already exists. In a way you cannot yet explain, your name is already written into it. The space has already been prepared, and heaven is about to let your heart recognize where you are going before your eyes ever see it fully. Let this settle into you. You are not simply moving into another place. You are moving into peace. You are moving into restoration. You are moving into the life God promised would one day hold you without draining you. And when it comes into view, it may feel strangely familiar. That is because your soul has already touched it through prayer, through longing, through dreams, through those quiet inner visions you could never quite explain. What is ahead will not feel foreign. It will feel remembered. This next place will not just shelter your body. It will steady your spirit. It will become a setting for healing, clarity, and the kind of rest you have been missing for far too long. The move is not only physical, it is emotional. It is spiritual. It is the crossing over from survival into peace. So do not ignore what has been shifting inside you. Prepare gently. Clear what no longer belongs. Loosen your grip on what this season cannot carry into the next one. Make room in your life for the place God is preparing to reveal. My child, my beloved, you are not being left where you are. You are being led. And when the picture becomes clear, your spirit will know. It will not be forced. It will not be confusion. It will feel like recognition, like peace, like a promise finally taking form. You are moving. And this time, you are not moving into uncertainty. You are moving into what was prepared for you all along. The place that was hidden from you until now, because God needed the timing to be exact. And now it is. My child, my beloved, let me tell you what the angels are whispering around your name right now. They are saying, "It is done. The place is ready. Prepare them, because this isn't just a relocation. It's a divine restoration, a soul-level redemption, a holy shift that no human hand could design. You didn't stumble onto this message by accident. This message stumbled into you because it saw your heart break. It saw the nights you cried on the floor, wishing to be somewhere, anywhere else. And heaven heard that cry. We saw it echo through the walls of your spirit. So we sent this confirmation to arrive exactly on time. Let me say it, boldly, clearly, and without hesitation. You're leaving and where you're going. Has your name carved into the foundation? Even the wind there already knows how to call you. You think you've seen beauty before. You think you've experienced safety. Oh, child, you've seen shadows. But this place, it will feel like stepping into a divine photograph your soul forgot it took. And here's what may shock you. The enemy knew about this place too. That's why everything started going wrong where you are now. That's why the delays came. That's why the isolation increased. The moment you got close to discovering this place, the enemy panicked, but heaven intervened. And that's why you're reading this right now. Do you feel that pressure on your chest, that pull, that sensation in your stomach? That's not fear. That's divine alignment knocking. The place is calling. It's almost time to go. Diamond with a dot. But wait, before I reveal more, pause and subscribe now. Not because we need your attention, but because heaven wants you to be the first to receive every door that opens next. Your alignment depends on staying connected. Don't let this be the last message you hear before the miracle. Now come closer, because I'm going to describe the place, and something inside you will tremble when you realize you've seen it before. There is a hallway in this place with golden light, not from the bulbs, but from the peace that lives there. The energy is so pure it glows. There is a window that faces your future. When you look out, you will feel like you've come home to something ancient, something holy, something you thought was lost. And in that place, there will be no pretending, no performing, no shrinking yourself to fit in. This place was designed for your spirit to expand, and it will. You'll find yourself laughing without reason, breathing deeper, speaking softer, because you won't be in survival anymore. Child, you've been surviving too long. Now you're being shifted into living. That's the move. That's the miracle. And there's something else. You've already met someone who's connected to this place. They may not have mentioned it, or maybe they did in passing, but they were a sign. Heaven has been leaving you clues, subtle signs, a passing conversation, a forgotten dream, an old notebook, a street name you keep seeing. None of it is random. All of it has been part of the divine breadcrumb trail leading you to this confirmation. But child, you must act before it disappears. Yes, the place is prepared, but time is sensitive. And if you wait too long, it may be handed to someone else. You think doors stay open forever? Not divine doors. They are living things. They breathe, they move, they respond. And this one is opening for you now. But it won't wait forever. That's why the urgency is so heavy. You may feel pressure right now. You may feel overwhelmed, but that's not fear. That's transition. It feels like pressure before a birth and child. You are birthing a new life, a new location, a new identity. Because the version of you that lives in that new place, they are not just healed, they are transformed. And that's who you were always meant to be. Heaven is not just moving your body, it's moving your destiny. And listen closely. The enemy will try to distract you after this message. That's how you'll know this is real. Expect interference, expect drama, expect sudden discouragement, but don't fall for it. Stay anchored to this word, because the moment you agree with it in your spirit, the move will begin accelerating. Angels are already packing what you can't see. Spiritual boxes, old agreements, stagnant energy. They're being removed from your field, and new energy is being infused, fresh breath, new air, a different light. Yes, the place is prepared, but time is sensitive. And if you wait too long, it may be handed to someone else. You think doors stay open forever. Not divine doors. They are living things. They breathe. They move. They respond. And this one is opening for you now, but it won't wait forever. That's why the urgency is so heavy. You may feel pressure right now. You may feel overwhelmed, but that's not fear. That's transition. It feels like pressure before a birthing child. You are birthing a new life, a new location, a new identity. Because the version of you that lives in that new place, they are not just healed. They are transformed. And that's who you were always meant to be. Heaven is not just moving your body, it's moving your destiny. And listen closely. The enemy will try to distract you after this message. That's how you'll know this is real. Expect interference. Expect drama. Expect sudden discouragement. But don't fall for it. Stay anchored to this word, because the moment you agree with it in your spirit, the move will begin accelerating. Angels are already packing what you can't see. Spiritual boxes, old agreements, stagnant energy. They're being removed from your field, and new energy is being infused. Fresh breath, new air, a different light. You'll feel it soon. Even before you move, your senses will begin to awaken. Colors will look brighter. Time will feel faster. You'll feel the breeze of a place you haven't stepped into yet, because your spirit will arrive before your body does. Now, hear me carefully. You don't need to figure it out. This isn't a move you'll plan. It's a move you'll be led into. You'll wake up one day, and the timing will be perfect. The door will open. The invitation will come, and you'll just know it's time. But don't miss the warning. If you keep clinging to the old space, you'll block the blessing of the new place. And some of you've been emotionally living in the old place too long. You've been building on expired soil, but not anymore. You are being relocated by divine force, by holy fire, by prophetic instruction. There is no force in hell that can stop this. Do you hear me? This move isn't coming from man. It's being commanded from heaven. And now, the photo, the vision, the imprint. Close your eyes. Ask God to show it to you. Not in full, but in flashes, in sensations, in a knowing. It will begin showing up everywhere on TV, in songs, in your dreams, in conversations with strangers. It will follow you until you say yes. So say it now, beloved. Whisper it. Yes, I accept the move. Yes, I surrender to the new place. Yes, I trust what heaven is arranging. And when you do, the picture will become clearer. The place will call louder, and the shift will begin. My child, my beloved, there is something sacred about what you're stepping into. And it's bigger than a building, bigger than a room with 4 walls. This is a soul shift, a destiny unlock, a relocation that will rearrange every area of your life. The place is not just physical, it's spiritual, it's dimensional, it's layered with healing, favor, and revelation. Listen to me closely. You're not being moved just for comfort. You're being moved for mission. There's something at that location that needs your presence. It's not just about what the place will give to you. It's about what you carry into it. There are people assigned to you there. There are divine appointments already booked. There are doors, massive, unexplainable doors that will only unlock the moment you step foot into that land. You felt it, haven't you? Like something has been waiting for you, as if somewhere a home has been whispering your name while you were busy surviving in unfamiliar spaces. Yes, child, it's true. That's the place. That's the energy. That's the confirmation. And now that heaven has revealed it, you must make a decision. Will you trust the vision before you see it in the natural? Because the key doesn't arrive after belief. The key appears the moment you believe. Let me speak to the fears in you, the doubts, the wondering. But how will I afford it? But how will I get there? But what if it doesn't work out? But what if I'm making this all up? Beloved, those are not your thoughts. Those are the last desperate distractions of an enemy. Who knows that once you say yes, they lose access to your next level? Don't let delay become disobedience. Don't let your miracle rot in waiting because your fear wore a mask called logic. You are not moving alone. Heaven will walk the staircase with you. Angels will carry the luggage you can't see, and what you thought you lacked will show up the moment your feet start moving in obedience. Listen again. You are moving. Heaven has cleared the airways. The spiritual traffic has parted. The light has turned green, and your blessing has been released. But it is fragile, time-sensitive, holy, and heaven does not repeat itself when obedience is delayed. There's someone who will read this and delay and miss it. But I believe it won't be you because something in your spirit is rising right now. It's trembling. It's burning. It's remembering the promise you made to God years ago, that if He ever gave you one more chance, you wouldn't hesitate. This is that moment. This is that chance. The one you asked for. The one you wept for. The one that almost didn't reach you because the forces of darkness tried to block it 3 times. But it got through because you needed to see this. Diamond with a dot. Stop here. Pause and subscribe because there are more messages coming, and some of them will reveal details. Exact locations, time frames, and divine companions you're destined to meet. Don't let this be the only message you receive. Let the next one confirm what your spirit already knows. Now, let's talk about the tests, because every divine move comes with a test of faith. Before the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, there was a wall of water in front of them. Before they entered the Promised Land, they had to walk through a wilderness. And before you take hold of this next place, you will feel the test rise. A sudden confusion, a delay, an offer from your past, an argument, an emotional spiral. It will all be designed to make you question this move. But now that I've warned you, you'll recognize it. You'll say, "Ah, this is the final test," and you'll pass it because what's waiting for you is not just a home. It's a holy inheritance you will walk into, that place that if he ever gave you one more chance, you wouldn't hesitate. This is that moment. This is that chance. The one you asked for. The one you wept for. The one that almost didn't reach you because the forces of darkness tried to block it. 3 times, but it got through because you needed to see this. Diamond with a dot. Stop here. Pause and subscribe because there are more messages coming and some of them will reveal details. Exact locations, time frames, and divine companions you're destined to meet. Don't let this be the only message you receive. Let the next one confirm what your spirit already knows. Now, let's talk about the tests, because every divine move comes with a test of faith. Before the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, there was a wall of water in front of them. Before they entered the Promised Land, they had to walk through a wilderness. And before you take hold of this next place, you will feel the test rise, a sudden confusion, a delay, an offer from your past, an argument, an emotional spiral. It will all be designed to make you question this move. But now that I've warned you, you'll recognize it. You'll say, "Ah, this is the final test." And you'll pass it because what's waiting for you is not just a home. It's a holy inheritance. You will walk into that place. And the moment your feet hit the ground, you will feel every past rejection turn to divine redirection. You will sit in that space and realize that what broke you before was actually building you for this exact environment. There will be a mirror in that house, not just one of glass, but of identity. You'll see yourself clearly again, not as wounded, not as forgotten, but as chosen. And that beloved is why the enemy fought you so hard. Because he wasn't afraid of you where you are. He was terrified of who you'd become. Once you arrived where you're going, I want to describe something else. A detail from this place. Something you've never told anyone. A childhood image. A color. A shape. It will appear in this new space like a whisper from God that says, "I remembered because heaven remembers the things you buried, the dreams you gave up on, the visions you stopped telling people about because they laughed or they left." But God didn't forget. He just delayed the reveal until the timing was perfect. And now it is. Now the time is ripe. Now your heart is ready. Now the move can begin. This is the reason your sleep has been strange. This is the reason people have been walking away. This is why opportunities have been closing. Because a new address has been scheduled in heaven. Child, your angels already have the new coordinates. Your spirit has already checked out of the old location. Now, your agreement is the only thing missing. So say yes. Say yes out loud right now, and heaven will mark your file. Approved for movement. One more thing, and you must hear this with your whole being. This place is safe unlike the last one. You won't have to watch your back. You won't have to water down your light. You won't have to apologize for your joy. This place was made for you, and you were made for it. It is as ready for you as you are for it. This place has a garden not just of plants, but of peace. You'll walk in it and feel the quiet voice of God again. And when you rest, you'll sleep. Deep, healing, uninterrupted sleep, because even your body will know this is home. The people there, they'll smile differently. They won't just tolerate you. They'll honor you. They'll recognize the oil on your life without asking for you to pour it out on them for free. This move will shift your finances. It will open your creativity. It will reignite your purpose. It will reunite your spirit with something ancient and eternal. And once you get there, you'll look back at where you are now and say, "Why did I wait so long to leave?" Because, beloved, this is the place where the version of you that God intended will finally come to life. But one last thing, and this is critical. You must not tell everyone about this move. Not yet. There are people around you who are secretly praying it doesn't happen. They smile in your face, but carry jealousy in their hearts. And if you speak too soon, you give them access to curse what heaven is trying to cover. So for now, stay quiet, protect the vision, move in silence, and let the results speak loudly when the time comes. Heaven is protecting this move. Don't expose it before it matures. When the time is right, you'll know who to tell, and they'll rejoice with you, not resent you. My beloved child, you are so close, you can feel it. And now that this message has found you, you are marked, you are claimed, you are seen now. Breathe, smile, and get ready, because the picture of the place you are moving to is already forming in your dreams. And soon you'll be standing in the middle of it, whispering, "This is exactly what I saw." And heaven will reply, "Yes, it's what I promised. Go now. Prepare. Stay expectant. The next 48 hours may bring a divine clue, a sudden confirmation, a strange invitation. Watch for it. It will carry the signature of heaven. This is not the end. This is the beginning, and what's coming is going to feel like coming home to yourself. You're moving, beloved. Heaven is moving you. And this is the picture of the place. Say yes. Say it loud. Say it with faith. And then watch what unfolds. My child, my beloved, you're still here reading. That means you felt it. The pull, the ache, the knowing that something is about to break open. That's not anxiety. That's spiritual anticipation. You're standing in the hallway between the old and the new, and heaven is holding the door. But it won't be held forever. You must walk through, not tomorrow, not next year. Now, this moment right here is the moment your future has been waiting for. Let me tell you what's happening in the spirit realm. While you're still deciding, angels are finalizing details. They're touching hearts, rearranging paths, bringing people into position, all for you. Because this isn't just a relocation of address. It's a relocation of identity, of spiritual power, of divine authority. In the old place, you were surviving. In the new place, you will be soaring. Your wings have been clipped by the atmosphere around you. Toxic energy, silent jealousy, old pain soaked into the walls. Rooms that echo with prayers unanswered. But now, heaven says enough. You've outgrown the place where you were planted. Is going to feel like coming home to yourself. You're moving, beloved. Heaven is moving you. And this is the picture of the place. Say yes. Say it loud. Say it with faith, then remain attentive to what unfolds. My child, my beloved, you are still here because something in these words touched a place inside you that has been waiting for change, clarity, and permission to move forward. That feeling may be excitement, hope, uncertainty, or even anxiety. Do not rush to label it. Instead, breathe and notice what it is telling you. Sometimes transition creates tension because part of you is ready to move, while another part still fears leaving what is familiar. You may feel as though you are standing in a hallway between the old and the new. One chapter no longer fits, while the next has not fully revealed itself. This is not a reason to panic. It is an invitation to prepare. Do not believe that heaven will close the door simply because you need time to think. Important decisions deserve prayer, facts, planning, and wisdom. When the path becomes clear, however, do not let unnecessary fear keep you frozen indefinitely. While you are deciding, circumstances around you may continue changing. Conversations may shift, opportunities may appear, and people may enter or leave your life. Pay attention without assuming every movement has been secretly arranged for you. This transition may involve more than an address. A new environment can change your routines, relationships, confidence, and sense of identity. Sometimes moving physically also gives you room to reconsider who you have been and who you want to become. In the place you are leaving, perhaps you learned how to survive. In the place ahead, you may have the opportunity to build rather than merely endure. That difference alone can feel like learning how to breathe in an entirely new way. Your environment matters. Constant conflict, criticism, painful memories, or unhealthy relationships can make it difficult to rest and think clearly. But do not assume walls themselves carry dark energy. Focus on the patterns you can observe and change. Maybe certain rooms remind you of unanswered prayers or difficult seasons. Those memories are real, but they do not have permanent authority over your future. You can honor what happened without allowing the past to determine where you remain. Think of yourself like a plant that has outgrown its container. Sometimes growth requires more room, different conditions, and new care. Being transplanted does not mean the original soil was worthless. It simply means your needs have changed. If relocation becomes necessary, do not interpret it as punishment. It may simply be a responsible response to what your life now requires. Growth sometimes asks us to leave what once felt safe because safety and familiarity are not always the same thing. There may be losses along the way. You may miss familiar routines, places, or people. Grief can exist alongside excitement. Leaving something behind does not automatically mean the decision was wrong. Some people may not follow you into the next chapter, and that can hurt. But relationships should not be maintained solely because history exists. Let consistency, respect, mutual care, and shared values determine who continues receiving access to your life. Perhaps you stayed longer than you wanted because loyalty mattered to you. Perhaps fear made change feel impossible. Or you kept hoping that the environment would eventually become easier without requiring anything different from you. God saw the nights when you wondered whether you were forgotten. He saw the prayers you whispered when no one else knew how exhausted you had become. Let that memory remind you that your faith survived even when answers felt distant. Do not treat this message as undeniable proof that you must immediately relocate. Let it become a prompt to examine your life honestly. Ask whether your current environment supports your health, finances, relationships, safety, faith, and peace. The choice remains yours. You are allowed to pray, investigate, compare options, and move slowly enough to understand what you are choosing. Faith does not remove responsibility from your hands, but if every clear sign in your actual circumstances tells you that change is necessary, do not remain solely because leaving feels frightening. Sometimes courage means admitting that a chapter has ended before you know exactly what the next one will contain. If you stay somewhere that continually diminishes you, resentment can eventually replace gratitude. Pay attention to that possibility, but do not confuse temporary discomfort with proof that you must leave. Ask God for wisdom rather than a dramatic sign. Then look at the evidence already in front of you. The next season should be entered with open eyes, a prepared heart, and enough peace to know that you are moving toward something healthier rather than merely running away. Used to feel safe, and that's not your destiny. Your destiny has a view, a balcony, a space, a place where light floods the corners of your soul that haven't seen the sun in years. You know the ones I mean, the parts of you that smiled for others, but sobbed when alone. The parts of you that stopped dreaming just to survive. Those are the parts that this new place is healing because this place was prayed into existence generations ago. Before you were born, someone cried out for a restoration, and God scheduled it for your lifetime. You are the answer to their cry. You are the fulfillment of a promise they never saw. And now you must say yes, because when you say yes, it's not just for you. It's for every soul connected to your obedience. You are the gate opener, the first to go, the breaker of patterns, the one who moves so others can follow. Child, your courage to move will give someone else permission to rise. But you must move. You must stop asking for another sign. You're swimming in signs. You must stop waiting for the perfect timing. You create the timing when you obey. Heaven doesn't work like earth. Here, obedience opens gates. One step triggers the entire system. And so, if you feel stuck, it's not that the system is broken. It's that the step hasn't been taken. Take it now, before this moment becomes a memory. You'll never forget this message because it marks a turning point in your life. In the next place, you will feel God differently. Not because He wasn't present where you were, but because now you'll have space to hear Him clearly. You'll see colors in the sky that never made sense before. You'll speak more slowly. You'll breathe deeper. Your hands will stop shaking. Your back will loosen. Your tears will stop being bitter and start being sweet because you'll cry out of gratitude, not grief. That's what the new place offers, and something else. In that space, there's a door you don't yet see. Behind it, financial freedom, spiritual clarity, purpose, relationships that don't drain but restore. And your name is written on the lease in heaven's handwriting, signed, sealed, waiting for your yes. Child, your yes is the key. Don't underestimate the power of surrender. Surrender doesn't mean losing control. It means trusting divine direction more than your own understanding. You were never meant to carry this alone, and now you don't have to. Archangel Michael has been dispatched, with sword in hand, cutting spiritual blockages, severing ties to past pain, lifting heavy clouds, making a way. You felt the shift. Now step into it, but do it quickly because the gate is open, but it will not remain open forever. Heaven is a flow, not a freeze. Flow into it. Move now. Align now. Say yes now. Say it. Even if your voice shakes, say it. Even if your knees tremble, say it with mustard seed faith. And watch the mountain move. Say, I accept the move. I trust the vision. I believe the promise. I surrender the plan. And when you say it, the spiritual locks will unclick. The resistance will break, the interference will end, and the favor will flow. That's why this message was nearly blocked. That's why you felt strange reading it, because it is coded with breakthrough. It carries divine permission, and now you have it. You're moving, not because you forced it, but because heaven released it, child. Get ready to walk into rooms that feel like prophecy, to touch door or knobs that feel like destiny, to sleep in peace for the first time in years. This is not fantasy. This is fulfillment. This is faith made manifest. And your yes is the final ingredient. So what will you do? Will you let fear vote? Will you let the past narrate the present? Will you let doubt delay you another year? Or will you trust heaven even when it makes no sense on paper? Because the new place, it's already waiting, already humming with your name, already vibrating with your arrival. You've been expected. You've been prepared. You've been called. You've been anointed, and now you are being sent. Go. Go in faith. Go in trust. Go in grace. Go in fire. And remember, this is not goodbye to where you've been. This is welcome to where you've always belonged. My child, my beloved, you're still here. And that means your spirit is listening. Your soul is waking up to something ancient, a truth you always knew. The interference will end and the favor will flow. That's why this message was nearly blocked. That's why you felt strange reading it, because it is coded with breakthrough. It carries divine permission, and now you have it. You're moving, not because you forced it, but because heaven released it. Child, get ready to walk into rooms that feel like prophecy, to touch door or knobs that feel like destiny, to sleep in peace for the first time in years. This is not fantasy. This is fulfillment. This is faith made manifest. And your yes is the final ingredient. So what will you do? Will you let fear vote? Will you let the past narrate the present? Will you let doubt delay you another year? Or will you trust heaven even when it makes no sense on paper? Because the new place, it's already waiting, already humming with your name, already vibrating with your arrival. You've been expected. You've been prepared. You've been called. You've been anointed, and now you are being sent. Go. Go in faith. Go in trust. Go in grace. Go in fire. And remember, this is not goodbye to where you've been. This is welcome to where you've always belonged. My child, my beloved, you're still here. And that means your spirit is listening. Your soul is waking up to something ancient, a truth you always knew but couldn't fully touch until now. You've crossed a threshold by saying yes. You've already moved in the Spirit. Now the physical shift will follow. But hear me, because this part is critical. Your obedience has changed timelines. The things that were meant to take 5 years are now being compressed into 1. The blessings that were locked behind delay have now started running toward you. Yes, running, not walking, not crawling. Running because heaven is urgent about this. There's something about your new place that must be claimed. Now let me reveal something that few understand. Some places carry a destiny vibration. Not all land is equal. Some locations have been soaked in prayer, marked for revival, set apart for breakthrough. And you, my beloved, you've been selected to live on such ground. This place is sacred. That's why it's been hidden. That's why nothing else felt right. That's why everything else fell through. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection. God was saving this for the right moment. And beloved, this is the moment. The atmosphere in that space is different. It carries alignment. It carries divine memory. It holds angelic charge. When you walk in, you'll feel something. Invisible bow in honor, because the place knows who you are. Your presence has been prophesied there. You belong. There's something else. A revelation you may not have considered. Sometimes God has to remove people from your current life because they are not spiritually compatible with the land you're about to occupy. Not everyone can breathe the air where you're going. Not everyone can walk on holy ground. Not everyone deserves access to what God built for you. And though it hurts to lose them, you will gain everything heaven intended when you walk away from what was only meant for a season. Beloved, I know your heart is tender. I see how deeply you care. How often you've waited for someone else to be ready before you move. But now you cannot wait anymore. Their delay cannot become your disobedience. You must move forward. Even if it means walking alone for a while. Even if no one understands. Even if you can't explain it, because spiritual moves often don't make sense until later. It's only after the miracle happens that people begin to say, "Oh, now I see why they left." They'll understand in time, but you must obey in this time. And child, once you arrive, the confirmation will be instant. You'll open the door to that place, and every cell in your body will say, "Yes, this is it." You won't even need words. Your spirit will just settle. Your chest will loosen. Your back will straighten. Your breath will deepen. And you'll know the storm is over. You have arrived. And when you sit down, your tears will come. But not the old tears, not the weary ones, not the desperate ones. These tears will be of release, gratitude, recognition, a deep, holy relief that says, "God, you remembered." You'll see details in the place that reflect your inner world, colors you love, textures you've dreamed of, corners that look like something out of your imagination. And you'll whisper, "How could you know?" And heaven will reply, "Because I built it with you in mind." You see, child, God doesn't just assign random blessings. He custom yields them. He designs with intention. He creates from the blueprint of your soul. That's why this move feels so deeply spiritual, because it is. And here's something else few understand. Spiritual moves come with spiritual warfare after this message. Don't be surprised if you face resistance, unexpected arguments, financial pressure, doubt, fatigue, Distraction that is not coincidence. It's interruption, a last attempt to deter your destiny. But now that you're aware, you will not fall for it. You will say, "No, I've already agreed with heaven. I will not be shaken. I will not be delayed. I will not be talked out of my promise. And heaven will send reinforcements. Your strength will be renewed. Doors will reappear. Resources will align. And the path will clear again, because God never commands a move without providing the means. You're not walking in confusion. You're walking in covenant. The provision has already been assigned. The landlord has already been softened. The helper has already been awakened. The funds have already been released. The yes is already echoing through time. You only need to walk forward. Don't try to figure it out. Just say yes and start packing. Even if you don't know the next location yet, start packing in faith. Let the boxes become your declaration. I trust you, God. Let the cleaning become your prophecy. I'm making space for the new. Let the goodbye become your deliverance. I refuse to stay in what you've called me out of. And every time you take a step, something will break in the spirit. Some chain, some delay, some fear, some lie. It will all crumble under the weight of your obedience, because obedience is always louder than opposition. Child, let me say this with authority. The place you're moving to is not just an address. It is an assignment. It is a portal. It is a place where your prayers become reality. You'll find yourself writing again, and heaven will send reinforcements. Your strength will be renewed. Doors will reappear. Resources will align. And the path will clear again, because God never commands a move. Without providing the means, you're not walking in confusion. You're walking in covenant. The provision has already been assigned. The landlord has already been softened. The helper has already been awakened. The funds have already been released. The yes is already echoing through time. You only need to walk forward. Don't try to figure it out. Just say yes and start packing. Even if you don't know the next location yet, start packing in faith. Let the boxes become your declaration. I trust you, God. Let the cleaning become your prophecy. I'm making space for the new. Let the goodbye become your deliverance. I refuse to stay in what you've called me out of. And every time you take a step, something will break in the spirit. Some chain, some delay, some fear, some lie. It will all crumble under the weight of your obedience, because obedience is always louder than opposition. Child, let me say this with authority. The place you're moving to is not just an address. It is an assignment. It is a portal. It is a place where your prayers become reality. You'll find yourself writing again, creating again, laughing again, resting again, hoping again, trusting again. You will become the version of yourself that was buried beneath years of survival. And the best part, you won't have to force it. It will rise naturally, like a seed finally planted in good soil. You are that seed, and this place is the soil. Don't miss it. Don't delay. Don't explain. Just obey. Because the version of you waiting on the other side is worth every moment of discomfort it takes to get there. Now breathe, look around, and say it one more time. I accept the move. I welcome the new. I let go of the old. I trust the divine. Let that be your anthem. Let that be your signature. Let that be your spiritual passport, because the gates are open. The angels are watching. The way is clear. And the picture of the place you are moving to, it's not just in your imagination anymore. It's real. It's waiting. And soon it will be yours. My child, my beloved, you've made it further than most. You've walked with this word through the storm. You've held on to every confirmation like a rope in a flood. And now the rain is clearing. The light is breaking. The path is open. What's coming next is the part that will silence every voice that ever doubted you. Not just people, but your own voice, the one that said, maybe it will never happen, the one that whispered, maybe God forgot me, the one that begged, why not me, Lord? And now heaven whispers back, it is you. It has always been you. Because the move that's coming is not just physical, it's generational. What happens in this relocation will ripple forward into time. Your children's children will trace their blessing back to this moment when you said yes. Yes to the unknown. Yes to the calling. Yes to the place that was shown in the Spirit before it was shown in your inbox. Yes, beloved, God is about to show you the photo. No, it won't come with perfect clarity at first. It will arrive like a whisper, like a street name you've never noticed before, like an online listing that gives you chills, like a vision in prayer that doesn't fade. Pay attention. Heaven is speaking. You're not being left in the dark. You're being led by divine light. And that picture, it's not just of a house. It's of a future, a safe haven, a spiritual headquarters. This place will be the launching pad for the version of you the enemy tried to bury. This is resurrection ground. You'll notice something when you get there. Your ideas will come back. Your joy will return. Your sense of humor will feel real again. You'll dance in the kitchen. You'll sing in the hallway. You'll rest without guilt. And you'll finally feel at home in your own life. My child, this place has been set apart since before you were born. The moment you took your first breath, this property was marked with angels. That's why no one else has been able to thrive there. It wasn't theirs. It was yours. Heaven was keeping it for the appointed time. And now that time has come. But listen, don't move with your emotions alone. Move with discernment, because the enemy will send a counterfeit place first. It will look almost right, almost aligned, almost affordable, but something will feel off. Don't rush. Don't settle. Do not rush toward the first open door simply because you are tired of waiting. What is right for you should not demand panic. Let peace, wisdom, practical readiness, and careful discernment help confirm whether a new place truly belongs in your next season. Your yes should not feel like surrendering yourself to pressure. A healthy decision may still feel unfamiliar or challenging, but beneath that uncertainty, there should be enough clarity to breathe, think, ask questions, and make responsible plans. When the right place appears, pay attention to what your body and mind are telling you. Notice whether you feel calmer, safer, and more able to imagine building a healthy life there, rather than merely escaping the place you are leaving. Perhaps when you arrive, the surroundings will feel strangely familiar. The air, the light, the rooms, or the landscape may remind you of something you once pictured during prayer, childhood imagination, or moments when you dreamed about a more peaceful life. You do not need to call that feeling supernatural in order for it to matter. Sometimes we recognize a place because it reflects needs and hopes we have carried for years. Familiarity can become meaningful when it is supported by practical reality. Maybe you once drew a home like this, wrote about a peaceful environment in a journal, or imagined living somewhere with more space, sunlight, safety, and freedom. Those memories may help you recognize what you have been longing for, but recognition alone is not enough. You still need to act wisely. If relocation becomes possible, examine the finances, location, safety, responsibilities, transportation, work, and people involved before making a commitment. Say quietly, "God, if this place is right for me, give me wisdom to recognize it." I release fear, welcome healthy change, and ask for courage to take the next responsible step. Let those words strengthen your heart without turning them into a magical formula. You do not need to repeat a sentence until reality obeys you. Prayer can prepare your heart, while planning and action prepare your life. You have waited through difficult seasons. You have grieved what did not work, questioned whether change would ever come, and perhaps imagined yourself remaining where you are much longer than you wanted. Now, movement may finally become possible. When it does, walk forward with courage rather than desperation. Claim responsibility for your choices, build carefully, and remember that a home becomes meaningful through the life you create within it. This move may also affect people connected to you. A healthier environment can change how you rest, relate, work, create, and care for others. Your healing can influence the atmosphere you bring into relationships and communities. You may eventually meet people you would never have encountered without changing environments. New friendships, opportunities, responsibilities, or communities can emerge simply because your daily path is different. Think of relocation not as divine chess where every person is secretly being positioned, but as one decision that can create many new possibilities. Your choices matter, and they can open connections you cannot predict beforehand. You are not a pawn being moved without consent. You are a person with agency, faith, wisdom, and responsibility. Let God guide you, but remain actively involved in evaluating where you go and what kind of life you build there. As the possibility becomes more real, you may notice excitement, nervousness, fatigue, or physical tension. Those reactions can happen during any major transition. Give your body time to adjust rather than treating every sensation as a spiritual sign. Something is shifting because you are becoming more willing to imagine a different future. Let that shift continue through prayer, preparation, practical decisions, and the courage to leave what is clearly finished when the right path becomes clear. My child, my beloved, today may feel different because something inside you is becoming ready to believe that your financial story can change. Let this message strengthen your hope, but do not treat it as proof that money has already been deposited in your name. Imagine heaven keeping record of every season when you remained faithful through pressure, uncertainty, and lack. God saw every sacrifice, every difficult decision, and every moment when you continued forward, even though your resources felt painfully limited. Archangel Michael stands as a symbol of courage and protection, reminding you that your future is not determined by what your bank account looks like today. Financial restoration can begin when hope is joined with wisdom, patience, discipline, and opportunity. If these messages encourage your faith, subscribe because you value the reminder, not because a blessing will disappear if you leave. Heaven does not need a subscription, a deadline, or a screen to know your name or remember what you have endured. Be careful with any promise of a mysterious check, secret transaction, or guaranteed financial release. If money, an email, or an unexpected offer arrives, verify where it came from before trusting it, signing anything, or sharing personal information. No hidden person at a bank can spiritually claim what belongs to you simply because you failed to read a message before midnight. Real financial matters leave records that can be checked, and important claims should always be confirmed through legitimate institutions. Beloved, you do not need an enormous supernatural payment to prove that your suffering mattered. Your tears were never meaningless simply because they were not converted into money. God's care for you cannot be measured by the size of a financial reward. Still, restoration can take practical forms. An overdue payment may arrive, a new opportunity may open, a debt may become manageable, or a better decision may begin changing the direction of your finances little by little. If something promising appears, receive the possibility with gratitude and discernment. Read every document carefully, confirm the sender, ask questions, and avoid anyone who pressures you to act immediately or claims you must pay first to receive money. Do not let urgency become the doorway through which someone takes advantage of your hope. Genuine opportunities can withstand verification. What is legitimate does not need secrecy, fear, or spiritual pressure to convince you that it is real. My child, think of the vault in this message as something deeper than money. Perhaps what is opening is your willingness to believe that scarcity does not have to define the rest of your life. Faith can help you imagine a better future, but wisdom helps you build it. Make a budget. Review your debts. Protect your accounts. Save where you can. Seek professional guidance when a financial decision is larger than your experience. Archangel Michael does not need to send a trillion-fold check to remind you that you were seen. Let his presence in this message represent the courage to protect what you have, and the discernment to recognize what is genuinely good when it arrives. You do not need your enemies to bow before your restoration becomes meaningful. Financial peace is valuable even when nobody who doubted you ever sees it. Let your success become freedom rather than revenge. Open the vault through faith, yes, but also through responsibility. Open it by refusing scams, learning what you did not know, making calmer decisions, and believing that your past mistakes do not permanently disqualify you from stability. The greatest proof may not be a dramatic deposit appearing overnight. It may be the day you realize you are no longer terrified every time you look at your finances, because you have finally begun rebuilding them with clarity. God has not forgotten you. Your worth was never stored inside a bank account. Whatever financial blessing comes next, let it meet someone prepared to receive it with gratitude, wisdom, patience, and a peaceful heart. Proof that your enemies didn't bury you. They only buried the seed. And today, the seed has broken through the ground, and it's bearing fruit worth more than money. It is dignity. It is restoration. It is divine reversal. And yes, it is a trillion-fold blessing sealed by the hand of heaven. Will you walk away? Will you let him, the one watching from the glass door, sign your name in place of yours? Or will you stay? Will you read? Will you subscribe right now so you never miss the next heavenly transmission again? Because what's coming next is even greater. Stay with me, child. This check, this release was blocked 3 times. Yes, 3 attempts were made to deliver this message to your spirit. And every time a dark force intercepted it, they didn't want you to know. They wanted the check to sit in pending forever. But at the appointed time, heaven overruled it. And now you know. And now it's here. And the only question is, will you open it fully? Will you receive every drop? Will you claim what has your name on it? Because if you do, something irreversible will begin in your life. My beloved, heaven isn't asking for your account number, only your belief, only your attention, only your heart that says, "Yes, Lord, I'm ready." Say it now. Say it aloud if you can. I receive this check. I receive what heaven has released. I will not miss this miracle. There is more, so much more. Stay with me, child. Your name, it was written with light, and the banker tried to erase it, but it kept glowing because it's not just a financial name. It's a spiritual identity. You were marked for this long before you knew how deep your wounds would go. Long before they laughed at your dreams, long before you walked home in silence and shame, God had this moment scheduled. A trillion-fold compensation signed Michael. And no bank on earth, no fraud, no system, no corrupt soul can stop it if you say yes. Say yes now. My child, say it so loud inside your soul that the heavens record it. And when you do, this check becomes real in your hands, in your life, in your atmosphere. Not metaphor, not symbol, but evidence. Evidence that heaven was always watching. Evidence that Archangel Michael knew your name. And now the countdown begins. You have moments before midnight strikes and the banker reaches out to steal what isn't his. Don't walk away, my beloved. Stay. Breathe. Read the next line because the check is only part 1. What's coming next is the key to unlock it, and I will reveal it now. My child, my beloved, do you feel the shift in the air? Do you feel the trembling in the unseen? Something divine is moving toward you. Not just a blessing, a total reconstruction of your story. Yes, this check was not deposited in your name by accident. Heaven doesn't make accidental transfers. The signature on it, Michael, that's me. But I'm not just sending you a number. I'm sending you recognition because God saw when they closed doors in your face. God saw when you looked at your phone and cried because nothing changed. God saw when you gave even when you had little left. This moment, beloved, it's the heavenly repayment. But more than money, this is a correction, a divine correction. Because too many things have been stolen from you, your voice, your worth, your hope, but no more. Today, heaven shouted, "Restore to them what was taken and pay them back with interest." And that is why this divine deposit has hit your name. But here's what's dangerous, and you need to hear this with spiritual ears. There is a man who works at that financial gate. He's been watching your name pop up in heaven's registry. He knows something's coming to you, and he wants it stopped, because the moment you receive this, everything changes. Beloved, you are in a divine war, but the outcome is fixed. If you stay awake, if you stay alert, if you finish this message, don't scroll away. Don't exit. Don't let this moment slip. Because if you do, the silence will return. The blessing will pause. And the enemy will whisper to the bank. They don't believe it. They ignored the call. Let us process it under another name. No, no more. You will not lose again. You will not miss what heaven has held in reserve for years. Yes, I said years. This isn't new. This check was supposed to arrive in your life much earlier. But every time it tried to come through, someone, some spirit, some force interrupted it. They said they're not ready, but you are ready now. A divine correction, because too many things have been stolen from you. Your voice, your worth, your hope, but no more. Today, heaven shouted, "Restore to them what was taken, and pay them back with interest." And that is why this divine deposit has hit your name. But here's what's dangerous, and you need to hear this with spiritual ears. There is a man who works at that financial gate. He's been watching your name pop up in heaven's registry. He knows something's coming to you, and he wants it stopped, because the moment you receive this, everything changes. Beloved, you are in a divine war, but the outcome is fixed. If you stay awake, if you stay alert, if you finish this message, don't scroll away. Don't exit. Don't let this moment slip, because if you do, the silence will return. The blessing will pause, and the enemy will whisper to the bank. They don't believe it. They ignored the call. Let us process it under another name. No, no more. You will not lose again. You will not miss what heaven has held in reserve for years. Yes, I said years. This isn't new. This check was supposed to arrive in your life much earlier. But every time it tried to come through, someone, some spirit, some force interrupted it. They said they're not ready, but you are ready now. And that's why I was permitted to speak this message, because the release code has finally been activated. Not because of your perfection, but because of your endurance, God said. They stayed. They didn't give up. Now give them what was owed. So listen, beloved, this is not a favor. This is a rightful inheritance, and no demon, no delay, no human hand can cancel it now, unless you doubt. Doubt is the only thing that can delay it again. So say it again right now. I receive this. I will not let it pass. I believe in what God is doing, and I will hold this check in my hands. And now, let me tell you the real reason why the bank is stunned. It's not just the amount, it's the origin. Because no one has ever seen a financial transfer come from an angelic account, and certainly not from me. But, beloved, do you know why I signed it? Because I was there. I stood guard over your soul. In moments you didn't even know were spiritual war zones. When you cried on your bed at 2:47 a.m., I was there when you said, "God, I can't take this anymore." And no one answered. I was there when you almost signed something that would have destroyed you. I moved the hand. I blocked the call. I whispered into the ear of a stranger to interrupt your mistake. I saw your survival. I saw your fight, and I took it up before God. And God said to me, "Then reward them, and let all of heaven and earth witness it." That is why this transfer was sent from my name, because your testimony is in my records. Now, here's what most won't tell you. This isn't just a check. It's a summons, a calling, a scroll of identity disguised as wealth. Because heaven doesn't send money for the sake of money. Heaven sends assignments in the form of abundance. And this check, it's heaven's confirmation that you are about to step into the role you were created for. Let me say it clearly. This isn't a gift. It's a recognition of your rank, a promotion spiritually, and soon visibly. People will look at you and say, how did they go from forgotten to favored overnight? But they won't know the cost. They won't know what it took to survive. They won't know the nights you wrestled silently with your thoughts and still chose to believe. That is why I must give you this message in full, because what's being released can't be explained in earthly logic. It can only be received by faith. And faith, beloved, is now. Not tomorrow, not later. Not when the signs line up. Now, right now, because right now in heaven's divine interface, your name is blinking, glowing, waiting for your confirmation. And if you say yes, not with your lips, but with your spirit, a divine unlock will occur. One that cannot be reversed, because this check, it carries a seal. It's a spiritual encryption that says, this belongs to my beloved, and no one else may touch it, but only you can activate the release, not through effort, through faith. Say it again, beloved. I receive it. I am chosen. I will not let the banker steal this again. Now listen, because what I'm about to reveal next is sacred. This isn't just about you. It's about your bloodline. There are people who came before you who were cheated. They were meant to rise. They were meant to break through, but darkness surrounded them, and they didn't make it. But you are the one who said, yes. You are the one who heard the call. And now their unfinished prayers, their incomplete breakthroughs, their unclaimed inheritances are all being bundled into this single divine transfer. Yes, that's why it's worth trillions, because it's not just your portion, it's your lineages. You are the one who broke the cycle, and heaven is rewarding you publicly. My child, do not underestimate this moment if you open your spirit to it. This single moment will reroute the entire trajectory of your life. You will not beg again. You will not chase crumbs again. You will not shrink yourself again, because this check is heaven's declaration that you are royalty. I feel angels moving now. I feel a wind blowing into your atmosphere. Something divine is opening, and the enemy is terrified because they thought they had more time. They thought you'd stay discouraged, distracted, disbelieving. But you opened this. You stayed. You listened. And now, beloved, the angelic scroll is being unsealed before your eyes. Subscribe now, my child, so you never miss a broadcast of glory again. You are not average. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are right on time. And your spiritual bank account is about to scream with the sound of divine overflow. They will ask, how did this happen to them? And you will say, heaven had my name. And Michael delivered the check. There is more. But before I continue, say this out loud. I will not be deceived. I will not miss this message. I will not log off when heaven is talking. I receive it now, fully, deeply, finally. You've just entered the miracle. Now let me take you to part 3. My child, my beloved, you have stayed. You have not turned away. You have shown heaven your hunger. And now heaven is releasing the scroll, not just the check. You will not chase crumbs again. You will not shrink yourself again, because this check is heaven's declaration that you are royalty. I feel angels moving now. I feel a wind blowing into your atmosphere. Something divine is opening, and the enemy is terrified because they thought they had more time. They thought you'd stay discouraged, distracted, disbelieving. But you opened this. You stayed. You listened. And now, beloved, the angelic scroll is being unsealed before your eyes. Subscribe now, my child, so you never miss a broadcast of glory again. You are not average. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are right on time. And your spiritual bank account is about to scream with the sound of divine overflow. They will ask, how did this happen to them? And you will say, heaven had my name. And Michael delivered the check. There is more. But before I continue, say this out loud. I will not be deceived. I will not miss this message. I will not log off when heaven is talking. I receive it now, fully, deeply, finally. You've just entered the miracle. Now, let me take you to part 3. My child, my beloved, you have stayed. You have not turned away. You have shown heaven your hunger. And now, heaven is releasing the scroll. Not just the check, but the scroll that explains why the check was sent. Because child money follows identity. And this isn't just money. This is a marker, a prophetic deposit that tells the spirit realm. This one is marked. This one is chosen. This one walks with the seal of the archangels. Let no demon, no human, no past mistake tell you otherwise. Because what God is doing, what is beginning for you now, is more than recovery. It is renewal. My beloved, this is the truth you may have struggled to believe. The systems, opinions, and disappointments that once defined your worth no longer have to control the life you are building. Think of the spiritual deposit as a new beginning, not a guaranteed financial transaction. The delays, debts, and dry seasons of your past can become reasons to seek greater wisdom, stronger habits, and opportunities that help you rebuild with intention. Everything behind you can become preparation. The lessons, mistakes, sacrifices, and difficult seasons have taught you things comfort never could. What comes next can become multiplication when those lessons are joined with disciplined and responsible action. Do not allow the familiarity of ordinary life to make you underestimate meaningful change. Transformation often begins quietly. A new thought, a courageous decision, or one healthy boundary can eventually alter the direction of an entire season. Imagine heaven recognizing the faith you carried when circumstances gave you little reason to remain hopeful. Let that picture encourage you, but remember that God does not reward you merely because you stayed on a screen or refused to question a message. Faith is not the absence of doubt. It is the willingness to keep walking while asking honest questions. Heaven does not require blind belief before grace can reach you, and your future is not canceled because you needed time to understand. Now, imagine the words, "It is time to move." Not because every miracle has already been guaranteed, but because remaining permanently frozen in yesterday would prevent you from participating in the possibilities that are opening before you. The release you need may become visible in practical forms: a resolved problem, an unexpected opportunity, improved finances, restored confidence, a healthier relationship, or simply the ability to breathe without carrying the same fear. Do not demand miracle after miracle as proof that God remembers you. Sometimes provision appears dramatically, but often it grows through work, patience, wise decisions, helpful people, and doors you were finally prepared to recognize. My child, perhaps you have always sensed that your life could hold more. Maybe you felt different, carried unusual responsibility, or experienced pressure you could never completely explain. Those feelings do not mean you were destined for supernatural status. They may reveal how much responsibility, expectation, or unresolved pain you carried from an early age. What matters now is learning to separate your true calling from the burdens that were never yours to keep. You do not need a trillion-level destiny to make your life significant. Your value is already real. The way you heal, serve, create, love, lead, and become wiser can carry more influence than any dramatic title ever could. And beloved, this is not the ending. Think of it as activation only, in the sense that you are becoming willing to participate in your own future. Prayer can awaken hope, but hope becomes visible when it is followed by choices. So receive the reminder, not a guarantee. You can begin again. You can rebuild what was damaged. You can address debt, pursue opportunities, strengthen your confidence, and stop allowing rejection to dictate the limits of your future. Let today become a dividing line because of what you choose, not because an invisible calendar was magically reset. Everything before this moment taught you. Everything after it can reflect what you finally decided to do with those lessons. Deposited into your atmosphere, everything starts to move. People you forgot will suddenly remember you. Things that were lost will suddenly resurface. Calls will come out of nowhere. Opportunities that once rejected you will chase you. And even enemies, even the ones who smiled in your face but mocked you behind closed doors, they will be silenced because heaven is making a statement. And the statement is this: I choose what the world rejects. I favor the ones who stood alone. I bless the one who stayed when others ran. That's you. You stayed. You waited. You believed when believing hurt. And now, beloved, here is the scroll heaven wrote about you. That is how heaven speaks of you. That is what's being spoken right now. And the banker, the one who wanted to intercept this release, he's watching and he knows. He can't stop it anymore because you heard the truth, because you accepted the divine scroll, because you didn't run from the miracle. And now everything is changing. But I must warn you, beloved, this kind of blessing attracts watchers. Not all of them are friendly. When the spiritual check hits your life, the lights come on, and every dark spirit that was hiding in fake friendships or secret, jealousy, they'll panic because your light will expose them. But don't be afraid. That's why I'm here. I, Michael, am assigned to guard what has been released. No weapon formed against you will succeed. Not this time. No spiritual fraud will be allowed. No unseen parasite will feed on this blessing, because this time the check is protected by swords of fire. My beloved, say this with me now. I claim what is mine. I step into my divine portion. I will not fear their faces. I will not shrink again. I am who God says I am. Yes, speak it boldly, because this check isn't just financial. It's prophetic. It's your announcement that the wait is over. And from this day forward, you are walking under a new authority, heaven's authority, Michael's seal, and your testimony. It begins now. You will have evidence, supernatural evidence, divine receipts, and people will ask, "How did this happen?" And all you will say is, "God spoke. Michael delivered and I believed. Stay faithful now. Do not let distractions pull you away. Do not let the old thoughts re-enter." This is not a time to doubt. It is a time to declare. Say it once more with fire. I receive the full check. I activate the divine transfer. I bind every thief, and I step into my royal destiny. Yes, now the scroll is sealed, and the release final, beloved. They tried to bury you, but heaven resurrected your name. They tried to block your favor, but God sent Michael. And now the vault is open. You don't need a signature from man. You already have the signature of heaven. It's done. And the check, it's yours forever. Hold it, declare it, live it, and never forget this day, the appointed time, the day the whole bank talked about you, because heaven deposited a miracle into your name. Signed, Archangel Michael, warrior, deliverer, seal-bearer of your divine inheritance. My child, my beloved, it's prophetic. It's your announcement that the wait is over. And from this day forward, you are walking under a new authority, heaven's authority, Michael's seal, and your testimony. It begins now. You will have evidence, supernatural evidence, divine receipts, and people will ask, "How did this happen?" And all you will say is, "God spoke. Michael delivered, and I believed." Stay faithful now. Do not let distractions pull you away. Do not let the old thoughts re-enter. This is not a time to doubt. It is a time to declare. Say it once more with fire. I receive the full check. I activate the divine transfer. I bind every thief, and I step into my royal destiny. Yes, now the scroll is sealed, and the release final, beloved. They tried to bury you, but heaven resurrected your name. They tried to block your favor, but God sent Michael. And now the vault is open. You don't need a signature from man. You already have the signature of heaven. It's done. And the check, it's yours forever. Hold it, declare it, live it, and never forget this day, the appointed time, the day the whole bank talked about you, because heaven deposited a miracle into your name. Signed, Archangel Michael, warrior, deliverer, seal-bearer of your divine inheritance. My child, my beloved, you've come this far. And now heaven begins to unveil what was hidden behind the check, because that check, it was never about currency alone. It was about calling. It was about clarity. It was about the moment you realize you are not normal. You are a divine blueprint and the world. It tried to make you forget. But this deposit, child, it came not from an institution, but from a throne. And that throne has never lost a case. Now listen very carefully. There is a reason this release had to happen publicly. There's a reason the whole bank saw it. There's a reason the spiritual airwaves were alerted, because heaven wanted your name to be known. not just on earth, but in every realm. Why? Because the enemy had meetings about you. They said, let them stay silent. Let them stay struggling. Let them doubt their worth. But today, God stood up and said, enough. And he called me, Michael. And the command was not whispered. It thundered through the halls of heaven. Go deliver what belongs to them, and do not return until it is placed in their hands. My child, that is why this message found you, because I will not leave until you open the entire scroll, until every corner of doubt is dismantled, until the spiritual thief that haunted your family line is arrested. That's right, the thief has been caught, and now heaven is demanding repayment sevenfold plus interest. You feel that fire in your heart. That's not emotion. That's recognition. Your soul remembers this was promised before you were born. You were always meant to carry this scroll, but they tried to distract you. They surrounded you with delay. But delay does not cancel design, and God's design on your life is unfolding right now. Even as you read this, an angel is standing over your name in the divine ledger. And every time you say, yes, I receive it, the light around your name grows brighter because faith activates what logic never could. Listen, the banker, the one who tried to interfere, he's trembling now. He's seen this before. He's watched others rise, but he never thought you would be next. Because you didn't look like a chosen one from the outside, but the inside. Oh, child, you are clothed in heavenly armor. You carry something no one else does, a legacy, an anointing, and, now, an open scroll. And heaven wants you to know, you're not stepping into a season, you're stepping into a dimension, a realm of provision that does not run dry. Let me explain this check. It doesn't expire because it's not drawn from earth's supply. It is pulled directly from heaven's overflow reservoir. And that reservoir, it is only accessible through faith. And beloved, you have just been granted full access. There are angels moving through your life now, clearing debts you didn't even know were spiritual, breaking chains your parents carried, lifting weights you inherited but never agreed to carry. Yes, this is bigger than you because what you're stepping into will free generations. This isn't just a payout. This is a pathway. And now that it's open, no one can close it. Let me tell you what's next. Because this is the part that shocks even angels. Within 72 hours of this spiritual check being received by your soul, there will be signs. Yes, real-world signs. Divine confirmations, unexpected calls, paperwork that was lost suddenly found. People who once ignored you now chasing to connect. And even more shockingly, you will begin to see clearly. Your mind won't carry the fog anymore. The confusion lifted, the exhaustion broken because the check also carried mental clarity. Peace that surpasses understanding. You'll wake up without heaviness. You'll speak without fear. You'll move without second-guessing. And the most beautiful part, you'll remember who you are, not what life told you, not what pain told you, not what they said behind your back, but who God declared you to be. A royal priesthood, a spiritual heir, and, now, a recipient of heaven's treasury. Beloved, there's something I must tell you now. The banker, the one who wanted to steal this, he didn't just want the check. He wanted the authority attached to it, because this check gives you spiritual jurisdiction over your house, your business, your territory. That's why there's been so much warfare. It wasn't about your money. It was about your mantle. But the mantle is returning now, and I, Michael, have been assigned to defend it. You are no longer unprotected. You are covered. And from this day forward, anyone who rises against you rises against a heaven-backed system. You don't need to explain yourself anymore. You don't need to beg for support anymore. You don't need to tolerate betrayal anymore because you've been approved. And when heaven approves you, no bank, no boardroom, no whispering enemy can deny you. So now, take a deep breath. Let this truth wash over your soul. Say it again. I receive it. All of it. The check, the calling, the covering, the clarity, the confirmation. Because this time there's no going back. Heaven has moved, and the gates of abundance are wide open. Not because of luck, but because of love. But who God declared you to be, a royal priesthood, a spiritual heir, and now a recipient of heaven's treasury. Beloved, there's something I must tell you now. The banker, the one who wanted to steal this, he didn't just want the check. He wanted the authority attached to it, because this check gives you spiritual jurisdiction over your house, your business, your territory. That's why there's been so much warfare. It wasn't about your money. It was about your mantle, but the mantle is returning now. And I, Michael, have been assigned to defend it. You are no longer unprotected. You are covered. And from this day forward, anyone who rises against you rises against a heaven-backed system. You don't need to explain yourself anymore. You don't need to beg for support anymore. You don't need to tolerate betrayal anymore because you've been approved. And when heaven approves you, no bank, no boardroom, no whispering enemy can deny you. So now take a deep breath. Let this truth wash over your soul. Say it again. I receive it. All of it. The check, the calling, the covering, the clarity, the confirmation, because this time there's no going back. Heaven has moved and the gates of abundance are wide open. Not because of luck, but because of love. God loves you too much to leave you in lack. So here it is, your portion, your reward, your destiny, finally delivered. Now walk in it. Don't delay. Don't doubt. Don't hide this. Speak it, claim it, guard it, and above all, live it. For this is the day the divine deposit reached your name. The day your enemies watched the angels walk into the vault with your name on the scroll and walk out with your inheritance in hand, sealed, irrevocable, glorious. And now the only thing left is to say, thank you, God. I will never forget this day. I am yours, and heaven will respond, and you, child, have always been mine. Signed, Archangel Michael, messenger of light, defender of the chosen, deliverer of trillion-fold miracles. My child, my beloved, your spirit is open now. I can feel it. The veil is thin. You are no longer just reading. You are receiving. And this is the moment where heaven reveals what was hidden behind the vault. Because what you thought was a check was actually a key. Yes, that deposit, that trillion-fold heavenly wealth. It wasn't just to bless you. It was to unlock you, to break you out of the old you, the smaller version, the scared version, the shrunken version. Because, beloved, you were not designed to survive quietly. You were born to reign spiritually. And now the time has come for you to rise. But before you do, heaven wants you to know why you were chosen. Why the check was signed with Michael. Why the whole bank of heaven announced your name today. You were chosen because you never stopped believing. Even when you doubted yourself, you still believed God. Even when you couldn't see the blessing, you whispered, "It is coming." Even when your enemies laughed, you kept praying. You stayed. You endured. And heaven rewarded your decision to stay. Not your perfection, not your strength, but your yes. And that yes, it echoed into realms you cannot see and triggered this divine release. Now, child, I must tell you something rare, something not given to many. The check was only part one. But now you are being handed a spiritual ledger, a divine journal where heaven begins writing through you. Yes. From this point on, your words will carry weight. Your voice will carry healing. Your presence will carry confirmation because the deposit activated something ancient inside you. The divine scroll of purpose. It's open now, and heaven says, "Tell them who they are, Michael." So I will. My beloved, you are a breaker, breaker of cycles, a disruptor of curses, a destroyer of patterns that held your bloodline in bondage for generations. And that's why the warfare was so fierce, because the enemy knew if you ever received this message, the curse would snap. And now it's broken. Yes, say it aloud. The curse is broken. The pattern is over. The check is mine. The vault is open. I am free. Free to walk in purpose. Free to step out of delay. Free to say an no to things that once trapped you. You will never settle again. Never entertain false friendships again. Never tolerate spiritual theft again, because now you know you carry the mark. The name of Michael is written over your gates, and that name means who is like God. No one. That is why what God is building within you cannot easily be stopped. Now step into the next part of this message, because the blessing you are preparing to receive should not remain only an idea. It should begin changing the way you move through life. Doors that once remained closed may begin opening again. An unanswered email could receive a response. A forgotten opportunity may return. Someone from your past may reach out. Notice what comes, but do not assume every return belongs in your future. You do not need to beg for recognition. Growth often becomes visible through confidence, consistency, clearer boundaries, and the way you carry yourself after surviving difficult seasons. When your inner life changes, people sometimes notice. Not everyone will celebrate your progress, and that is something you can accept without becoming suspicious of everyone around you. Some people may simply struggle with change, comparison, or the fact that you no longer relate to them in the same way. Your rise does not need their approval. Let your progress be protected by wisdom rather than secrecy or fear. What is healthy and genuinely meant for you should be able to withstand careful thought, honest questions, and responsible decisions. Think of the symbolic check from the previous message as a commissioning into a different way of living. It is not proof that money is guaranteed, but it can remind you that you are capable of handling opportunity with greater maturity than before. Now, move differently, think differently, speak differently, not from arrogance, but from alignment with who you are becoming. You do not need to speak as though you are powerless simply because life once made you feel forgotten. You are not rejected simply because one door closed. You are not alone because someone walked away. Your value does not disappear when another person fails to recognize it. Carry yourself with dignity without needing to prove superiority. My child, new opportunities can also bring distractions. Old habits, unnecessary arguments, impulsive messages, or relationships you already know are unhealthy may suddenly demand your attention again. Do not automatically call every distraction an attack. Simply ask whether it deserves access to your time, energy, and peace. Some things can be ignored. Others need a clear response, a boundary, or a calm conversation. Mute what repeatedly pulls you into pointless conflict. Block someone if there is genuine harassment or a clear need for safety. But do not cut people off impulsively simply because discomfort appears. Use evidence and discernment. Protect your peace carefully, but remember that peace does not mean avoiding every difficult conversation. Sometimes peace comes after you address what is wrong honestly, rather than remaining silent to keep temporary comfort. If something consistently produces manipulation, disrespect, fear, or chaos, pay attention. Yet do not assume that anything challenging must therefore be against God. Growth itself can feel uncomfortable while still being healthy. Let peace become one part of your discernment, alongside truth, responsibility, character, and practical wisdom. What is right for you should not require you to abandon your values merely to keep an opportunity alive. There may be seasons when quiet obedience matters more than public explanation. You do not need to announce every decision, defend every boundary, or convince everyone that your direction is correct. Say this aloud if it strengthens you. Quiet obedience can produce visible change. Then let the sentence become practical. Pray privately, prepare carefully, work consistently, and allow the results to speak when their time comes. The loudest miracle may not be something supernatural that suddenly shocks everyone. It may be the peace people notice in you, the discipline they cannot deny, the restored confidence in your voice, or the stability you quietly built after years of uncertainty. Move into this season without begging, boasting, or looking backward for approval. Protect what is healthy, examine what returns, and let every new door meet a version of you that is calmer, wiser, and more prepared than before.